like I just feel like I think I found. I hear you. I think I found.
Well, I said.
He said. What's going on, everybody? All you cool cats and kittens out there. Welcome to episode 19 of No Bucks Given, the show where we just talk about any sort of random shit that we find on the internet. And trust me, we found a bunch this week that are certainly, well, we're going to talk about them. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. It's stuff to definitely talk about. Welcome to the special Sunday edition. If you guys are watching us live here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Horny Goat. Normally we do this on Saturdays. I did say do, but we weren't able. We were just kind of exhausted and figured, you know what, let's go ahead and let's switch this over and switch gears. And well, here we are. Of course, you can also listen to us on your favorite podcasting platforms. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Apple, and pretty much anywhere you can listen to your favorite podcast. So why not listen to us there? Of course, you guys know me. I'm Connor. I am not alone. I am here with the wonderful members of the Horny Goat crew. Of course, I got the power couple with me of the Horny Goat channel. We got JP and Heather. What's up, folks?
Not much.
Heather instantly yawned as soon as I said that.
I'm starting to rock back and forth.
So. Oh God, I know that all too well.
It's a good side.
We need to take you to the chair so you don't fuck your body up.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I
We'll
do
see
the
about
exact
that.
same thing. I get into this rocking motion, and like anybody else would think I need to be committed.
Correct.
When we're doing the Doctor Strange thing, you stopped rocking.
I know. I went into fucking the multiverse.
Oh man, how are you doing, Heather?
Just got back from Waterloo today. I love her.
You were telling us so much beforehand how much you love her. Yeah.
I'll tell the story before the story of her.
What?
So I was at an army unit this weekend, right? And you know when you're out in the field, well, you don't know because you're not in the army.
I was waiting for that line, but go ahead.
I have been out in the field though.
Yeah. Yep. It's
You
happened.
get around certain people, and it's weird because so I farted. And it smelled like a fucking MRE fart. And I didn't even fucking eat an MRE today. Okay?
Now we're talking about field clearing
First
now.
of all, what's an MRE fart?
Real ready to eat.
No, but what's the fart like from that? I know
It's
what the
atrocious.
fucking MRE
It's
is.
atrocious.
Is it the
It's
smell or
atrocious.
is it the sound?
Oh,
Like, what are we
it's
going
a
with here?
smell. It's a
Oh,
smell.
okay.
It's very distinct.
You probably had a fart like my dog does. It's just like pure
Yes,
disgusting.
it smells like
It's extremely-
You know how it is in the field.
You can taste it,
You know egg farts, right?
but do you really
Yeah.
want to? Yeah.
It's egg farts amplified to 1,000.
Oh,
So I was in the room all by myself today because the soldiers, they were out doing their Army combat physical fitness test, and I farted.
During the fitness test or just
And
watching?
I said it out loud because I thought I was the only one in the building. I didn't even eat a fucking MRE, and this female walks in. She goes, "Yeah, I'm here to do this paperwork." I'm like, "Well, when did she have a seat?"
Take a mouthful.
breathe through your mouth.
Like certain farts, man. The
You may wanna
taste
go get
is
your-
there's a taste. You can taste the air.
It tastes
That
like onions,
bad.
onions and ketchup.
No, it tastes like fucking.
Mustard gas.
So
It tastes like anal decay. Is what
He
it tastes like.
Turn the MRE into a WMD.
So you do, you essentially do. But I didn't even eat an MRE. But it's like, my God.
Sometimes that
So-
happens, man. Get the protein.
You know they're
juice.
bad
I
when
know it's really weird. I don't. Go
you
ahead.
know you know farts are bad when when you're the one doing them, like, oh, that was bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if like
Like,
people
you-
judge
you-
them
you-
externally and you know, they're like, it wasn't that bad. But when you yourself like, I apologize.
I usually enjoy my own flavor, but
Hey,
today,
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right.
but today something.
Yeah, it's just like,
something
I
wrong.
apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for
So today, Heather and I, we came back. We came back a day early because she forgot the power cord.
usually because you shit yourself during a test.
She forgot the power cord, right? So I decided we'd come back a day early. So she's out of pods for her vape and juice, right?
Mhm.
And I said, just remind me.
PB and J.
You know, I told her to call the vape shop in Waterloo to make sure that they had the type of. She goes, well, it's a vape shop. Maybe they should have it. You never know.
So that tells me you didn't hear what I said when you came back up to the.
No, I quit listening to you when you said, well, blah, blah, blah. So I'm
And,
like,
and you
fuck.
stormed out. You're going to the store blind. Okay.
I quit listening to you as soon as
She
you
goes,
started
"Oh,
talking.
It's a vape shop. They should have it. I'm like, just fucking call them. So she didn't.
Mhm.
Correction. Actually, I did call and they did have it.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
I did tell you, but apparently you stopped listening.
I
You
did.
didn't hear that part, so.
But
aha.
you didn't say, hey, are we going to go to the vape shop? Because I didn't hear you say, hey, are we going to go to the vape shop? Did not hear you say that, so on you. So
No, that's out of you.
I'm waiting for it to come full circle. Where's the next MRE fart come?
That's what I'm like. Is there a connection here?
so we get to go on, we get out of Waterloo, we get to Platteville, which is just right south of where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Place is
just,
called
I said, we're almost home. And Heather goes, you know you just passed Platteville, right? And I'm like, you gotta fucking tell me this shit because I forget that you need shit.
But then he's not listening half the time.
And she got mad. I didn't remember. It's not that I didn't listen to her. She didn't say anything to me. I said, remind me when we get close that you need to get your shit so that you're not cranky.
Poor
She's
Trista
cranky
Ward.
for other reasons, but so she's not cranky. And goddamn, she didn't say a fucking word to me. I got, 2 miles out of Platteville? You know, you just passed Platteville.
Right. She's letting you know.
Oh my god, this is like I've had this happen to me 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
For some
And
reason.
I'm like,
Swear to God.
Jesus fucking Christ. So I whip the car around. Wendy goes, stop yelling. So I drive her back to fucking Platteville. She gets her fucking vape. Now look at her. She's got a fucking smile on her face like nothing's
That's
wrong.
all that matters.
Honestly, this is why, like, anytime I'm driving, I put, like, wherever I'm going, if I don't know where I'm going, or I need to go somewhere, or I know I need to go somewhere, put that shit in Google Maps, put an earbud in. Don't fucking talk to me because you're going to tell me 10 minutes later that I missed something that I was supposed to get. It's like, without fail, it's happened to me 1 trillion fucking times. People are like, hey, you should have went left.
Jurgen, it's not that I don't listen to what she says. She didn't fucking remind me.
No, Tim's right in the chat.
Remember, when I get focused on something, like if I want to get home, I'm not paying attention to anything else unless I want to say something to her.
There's a fire in the background.
I'm just focused on getting home because right at this moment in time, my hip is fucking killing me. My back is killing me. My shoulders are hurting because I'm driving because I'm the only one that knows how to fucking drive. I asked her to take the wheel for me and I'm like,
I was trying to turn the wheel while also trying to get you a clean napkin so you could blow your fucking nose.
Which is running again. Right now, it becomes a water faucet.
Nice.
But so that's the story from today. So we're home. We didn't kill each other.
Well, the moral of the story is we're home. I'm renaming your finisher in Horny Goat Wrestling the MRE. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Feel ready to eat. Yep. Go ahead.
That sounds really weird as a finisher. I'm the meal ready to eat. Bend over and fucking spread his cheeks.
I can figure. Look, I MRE. It's in my head. I'll forget it, but then I'll pop it in there and be MRE. What can I use for MRE for a finisher? I'll think of something.
So now that you're full of vapey goodness, Heather, you're having a good evening?
Yeah.
She's more than full of vapey goodness.
Silence is golden.
And there we go. That's the good stuff.
So she won't say another word for about 2 hours.
It acts like I don't speak at all.
Don't speak
on this shit, but you know what? Fuck you.
I know
you're gonna sit there and then you're gonna look at me and wait for me to do
Fuck
something.
the articles. I just want to have them talk the entire fucking time in this episode. I'm serious. Like I just want to let's go.
I mean, most of the articles are things that
15 minutes
I'm
later,
like,
you're gonna look at me like I'm waiting for you
just
to
make
do
it
something.
happen.
I don't have to wait. You do something stupid every 5 seconds.
I do.
New record.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Crop dusting.
Did anybody see the blood moon?
No, I just went outside and looked.
I know in the chat they exist.
They do exist. It does exist.
I just it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it could. All right, I mean, you're gonna make me get up and actually look for it because I think the moon's on the other side of the fucking.
It's supposed to stay like
It's
that
the
for an
moon.
hour.
It's the color of the. It's not something completely different. It is
It's
actually
supposed to be
the moon.
red because it's the total eclipse of my heart.
Oh my god.
Well, in that case, I need to look. So, basement, tell us how you're doing, and I'm gonna go see if I can find this fucking thing.
He's not gonna find it. He's hunting for a myth.
He's not.
It's gone. The moon is gone. It's never coming back. Let's just get used to it, guys.
Well, guess what? We're gonna end up in the sun here in a few minutes.
We're already dead. You just don't know it yet.
How you doing, man?
Paul, I'm doing pretty good. Not gonna lie. Paul Arzola, Alpha Excalibur, Jürgen Bouillet, Tim.
Oh my god.
I gotta give some love to the chat that's hanging out, listening to your story. Some people died laughing about your MRE farts.
Yeah, they did.
It's a true story.
Didn't see the blood moon, but I did see a homeless man taking a shit in a bush. So 50-50.
I can't wait to see the movie adaptation of this, based on a true story. MRE.
I believe that the blood moon is there. I just, didn't see it.
He's finally macrame his ass into the chair. He's not going to move unless he has to pee.
I have become one with the furniture.
Oh God! Don't get me started on furniture. No, bad memories. That GIF was disturbing. As Basement said, we got some wonderful people in the chat. You said Tim Jergamuyan, Paul Arzola, Alpha Cora is also in there. What's up, Cora? DJ Curtis, I think I hit everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in on this Sunday edition of No Bucks Given. Of course, you guys want to join along in the conversation. Articles will be linked in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you guys and gals want to chime in on some of the more bizarre stuff that we've got to talk about tonight, including, because fuck it, why not talk about this at the very top of the whole thing? A pregnant man. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I don't even know where to begin. So apparently, I can't even read this article. This Mother's Day, the famous clothing brand Calvin Klein wished all the women and mothers all over the world Happy Mother's Day. But apparently they also
I'm kind of confused. It's like, for the longest time I thought that if a woman transitioned into a man, the idea then is to treat them like a
as
guy,
that gender,
what they have now decided or have assigned themselves to be, or they were all along.
Yeah.
Then to go ahead and make that man Mother's Day fucking selling point for Calvin Klein or anybody, it's kind of confusing to me.
So essentially, it was to promote Mother's Day, and it showcased a trans man pregnant. So I'm with Basement on this one. I thought the whole concept was and again, not that I know any fucking thing about this whatsoever, but when you transition, you're supposed to. I don't even know if this was on purpose. I don't fucking know. I don't know the word.
Also, the genetic part of it, the guy, he looks fully like a man, and I'm pretty sure he was sporting some sort of package. So how did the pregnancy happen? Does he artificially inseminated and kept the womb? I just don't understand.
He would have had to have been artificially inseminated, because if he was pregnant before he did the surgery, they would have told him, wait until after you have the baby.
Well, you can't, from my understanding, you can't continue the hormone therapy while you are pregnant. So he would have had to have been a man before it, but now he's Mother of the Year.
That's a weird sentence.
I'm
just taking in what you just said. It's a bit I'm not against this. It's just that they're look. I have a lot of questions about the transition process from people who go into trans, and this just raises 30 million more questions for me. I'm trying to find. I guess Calvin Klein got hate comments, and then
they did. It was more like an expose. I think it was in poor taste to do it for Mother's Day. I mean, you could feature a trans person if you want to. It's their whole fucking thing. But to do it for Mother's Day and I don't know. It's kind of a weird take.
It is a weird take, and I feel it was an article specifically driven towards the trans and LGBTQ, whatever rest of the alphabet is part of it, community in and of itself, in an extreme targeted ad.
Oh my god, this guy. Okay, so I am as confused as you are. Well, good God, all Friday afternoon and morning. Thank you. I am as confused as you are about all this, because I don't know how, number one, this happened, and number two, nor do I care that this happened. The only thing that's really confusing me, it's not confusing me, but this is our society today as a whole. We're all inclusive, which is fine, but we have to put this at the forefront and nothing else. Let's not put an actual mother at the forefront. Let's put something that would get people talking about our product. And this is what I hate about advertising anymore.
It's a disgusting use of something that like is technically like, if you think about it, like when it comes to like people that are transgender or whatever, like they're going through some sort of struggle I'll never understand mentally. So like to like use it for money in the bank is kind of disgusting.
Right.
No, I think I'm right there with you on that one. And I also agree with Baseman in the sense of like, it's one thing to come out and say, oh, we support this, or even like did like a centerpiece around this individual person, but to time it with Mother's Day seemed at the very least in poor taste.
It is. And to me it is. I'm going to be fucking honest with you. I'm coming out of the closet and I'm telling you this right now. This is why I don't support half the shit that these fucking people do. Because they throw it in your face. Why do I want to support something that's thrown in my face every 5 fucking minutes? I don't care. I don't care. I don't mind what you're doing. If you want to transition to a woman, great. But don't throw it in my face every 2 minutes that you're transitioning to a woman, because, and I'm throwing this in with that, Connor. So I don't want people to fucking think that I hate these people. I'm starting to, because they make if you don't support them, you are a racist, you are a bigot,
But like this is what I don't get. Like, are we not allowed to not like something or not agree with it? I'm not going to hold it back in any way, but I don't have to. Am I forced to go on pedestal saying they're brave, they've conquered the world, or anything like that? Because I personally don't think that. So if you want to put words in my mouth and make me believe something I don't, fine. I'm okay. Like, do what you want. It's your fucking body. It's your fucking life. But like the idea that it's going to be paraded around constantly like I would imagine it from their point of view as being disgusting as well. Like, I mean, it's one thing to like fight for like acceptance and everything, and then it's another thing to fight for fame, I guess.
Have you ever seen the South? I probably mentioned this in previous episodes before, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. To be clear, I was gonna back up JP's point of like when he says he doesn't care, and JP, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not that you like, oh, screw everything. It's not that you have any hate towards it. It's just, hey, you do you, whatever, fine. Like, peace be, I
don't care.
Right. It's not.
When I say I don't care, you can come to me. I'm transitioning to a woman. Well, fucking raw fucking vote.
Right. I personally don't really.
I can give a shit.
I personally don't even.
It doesn't affect me.
Right.
It's not going to affect me. But so I've had to deal with this. So a person that I worked with was my platoon sergeant, was my mentor, transitioned from a man to a woman. Okay. This person threw it in your face every 5 fucking seconds. I'm transitioning to a woman. You better start calling me her. Okay, her. So I walked around calling her.
Right,
all fucking day. Hey, her, come here. So it's like I got your fucking pronoun. Fuck you. So the thing is it got thrown in my face, and I don't like something being told. Well, I have to adjust to it. Of course I do. But give me fucking time. It's like I've known this person for 15 years as a man. A man who walked down the middle of the street with his pants down around his ankles saying, I got big balls. Right?
How'd you follow me? Go ahead. What?
I'm pretty much with you.
It's so mind-numbing that people seem to think that if you don't care, or
you're the bad guy because
makes you seem
don't
like an
care.
enemy.
Yeah, you all. It's a forced. They're asking for a forced emotion that I just don't have. It's not that I hate you or anything like that. I'm not in love with you
if you don't,
or your ideals.
if you don't go on Twitter and support.
Oh, the worst was you don't go on Twitter or go on any social media and put your what you identify as somehow you're like the bad guy. I'm just like,
Yes.
I don't really care to like what why in what way does this world need more fucking labels?
Well,
Jesus
that's
Christ,
part of
man.
it. That's part of it. That's another thing that pisses me off. But the one that really jerks my chain, if you don't go on Twitter, if somebody says something and you literally say, I don't care about something, and you don't openly support it, you're a bigot.
Forks and torches.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
because I don't
it's-
openly support it doesn't mean that I'm against what you are doing.
I mean, we're
Right.
technically in the Salem witch trials of internet, which is unfortunate because it kind of bleeds in. Well, basically, 100% bleeds into the real world. But nowadays, it's like you get caught on the internet doing anything or do anything on the internet, then we're gonna burn you at the stake.
I forgive me if I brought this up in previous episodes, but one of my favorite episodes on South Park is the Tolerance Museum.
Yeah,
Have
you
you
brought
ever-
that up on Friday even.
Oh yeah, okay. I love it because it's just so great about like how like they put Mr. Garrison on a pedestal and then he freaks out on people. He's like, tolerate, just you tolerate things doesn't mean you have to fucking like them. You tolerate a baby screaming in a restaurant doesn't mean you enjoy it. And it's like,
That's
Jesus.
It. Like, it wasn't the fight always for like tolerance and
Yeah.
Like in my mind, equality is essentially tolerance to an extent.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't have to fall in love with seeing.
Yes.
Like I don't have to fall in love now when I watch any primetime television or any TV that's ever made. I know they're gonna have a gay couple. I know I'm gonna see a lot of gay interaction, like physically, sexually, and everything like that. There's gonna be a
Right.
transgender. There's gonna be this. There's gonna be that. That's representation, but it's almost over the fact that you've replaced all those characters with just husks of what you think that lifestyle is. And it's like if you don't like it, you don't like
it draws lines in the sand that aren't fucking there.
Tolerating it was enough.
me
and
not
is
me not
enough.
wanting to. I don't want to see two men fucking make out and have sex on screen. That's just not for me. I'm sorry.
Right. to all of those people that openly support and you're tolerating something, I'm tolerable. I'll tolerate anything to a certain point. But tolerating isn't enough to these people.
But like I mean,
You have to do more than tolerate it, which I think is, and I'm not saying everybody, and these people, when I say these people, there are people out there that they don't feel that tolerating it is enough.
well, the thing is that it went from like a struggle to get equality to a struggle to force inequality. It's more like they've reached what they wanted to
point.
get, and now it's like it's become oppressive in its views. Where it's like if you don't agree, you are wrong.
I wouldn't say oppressive yet, but I see where you're going with that, and it's.
Well, I mean, I've seen like you can't. The thing is now you can't like. Well, I mean, comedy as a whole has been destroyed because
Yeah.
of this movement.
So subscribe. But no, I mean, I think oppressive's a strong word. I'm not saying that. I get your point. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that is, but it's going there. It's going in that direction.
I mean,
I'll definitely.
the main reason I use the word, I mean, like oppression. There's varying levels of oppression. This is the oppression of like free speech and thought. Like, there's certain things I'll say that now I will always have to think twice about, and people will be like, well, you should have always thought twice about them. I can't fucking always think twice about everything I'm fucking saying. I just can't. I don't want to live in that world. Do you want to live in a world where you can never actually say what you mean? It's like, well, if it's bigoted, it's not bigoted, but fucking I could find somebody out there that's going to think it is and turn it on me, and that's that.
Well, that's the way the world's already going.
And I'm fired. All right, that was quick. Just kidding. I'm actually agreeing with a bunch of people. Alvin says in the chat, this is one of the reasons why I quit Facebook and Twitter, because outside of you guys, fuck everyone. I mean, with the exception of a few others, Alpha, I'm right there with you.
But also, there's this like herd mentality of people that are like I have friends, and if I was on Facebook, I'm going to tell you right now, like I'd basically say nothing, because anything I had to say would just draw ire, even though it's just like all it is a contentious point of view. I'm not saying it because I 1000% agree with it,
thing,
but it's like if you don't agree, you the enemy.
That's if it can reach that stage first, or if the independent fact checkers are gonna come after you first.
Started with that. I mean, I'll be honest. The only reason I am on Facebook is like pics of the kids for family to see. That's like legit. I'll share some stupid, funny shit every once in a while. Like that's like safe. But other than that, I'm barely on there.
When it comes down to the whole Calvin Klein pregnant man thing, I could give less of a shit. I don't really care about it. It was a talking point because a lot of the world were up in arms about it. I'm not in any position to really talk about it. I'm not a mom, nor am I a transitioning man, so I don't really like. The only thing I see is the fact that they are obviously using the hot topic of male transitions or transitions in general to make
that's
fun.
really my gripe with it, if I even want to use the word. It's just like
it's kind of like it's targeted campaigning. Every industry out there does it. It's just
it's like having a bearded lady.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same idea as like carnivals of the past that had oddities, which is unfortunately a bad saying, but it's what it is.
The funny thing is, at their drill this weekend, the unit that I was at, the Army makes you do mandatory training on transgenders and LGBTQ yearly.
Yeah, the thing is, the inclusion of it has changed a lot.
No, it's not the inclusion. Well, it is, but what I'm trying to get at is they're trying to explain to you it's stupid. You support you. It is. It really is. They're essentially forcing you to support what they're doing.
The exact same thing happened at my work.
It's training to. It's stupid.
The exact same thing happened at my work, where it's
really,
like,
honestly, because it is so new, it is really hard to explain.
I don't think
really hard.
I don't think you should have like a hateful point of view, but like they don't care. My workplace was just like they assume you are the worst person alive, and they're like, we're gonna tell you this is why you must accept and be like cautious around. This is how you would teach. I'm like, it's like you're teaching me how to deal with aliens. They're fucking human beings.
Here's where I have a problem. Again, and I go back to this friend of mine. I mean, we don't even talk anymore because of this transition thing. I had to go through training on how to be sensitive to their needs.
Mm-hmm. Which is
how about
terrible?
But they wouldn't. They were like she was not forced to sit in on said training because she is in that demographic. So she didn't have to go to that. Everybody else did because we know. So essentially, what they're telling us or telling soldiers is if you have to walk on eggshells around people that are doing these things. Are transgenders or are LGBTQ as they call it now. It's so out of touch with reality. I'm sorry, when the way that the Army does it. How about you just let people be people?
Honestly, it's the most backward version of forcing what they think needs to be forced in integration, where I think most people, I'm going to say most people, I think majority of the population were like, it'll take some time. It's a bit weird, but I don't need to be fucking marketed it every time I wake up. Because a lot of people are going to turn the other way because of that. because they no longer want it thrown in their face. It's like, you know what? I didn't really have a thought about people transitioning. Now I fucking hate them because I can't get away from them.
It's almost backfiring. I get where you're coming from. Paul Arzola says in the chat, I wish we could just go back in time to where everyone did their own thing and nobody cared.
Yeah.
Right there with you. What's up, Oru Shinshu? What's up, Oru? But no, I'm right there with Paul Arzola on that one. Just like, hey, listen, just hi, my name's Paul. You do that's between y'all, and boom, I'm good with whatever. I purposely didn't throw a poll in the chat on that one, just because I'm just it's a little too early to start with that one. But I mean,
is there a poll? That's the real question.
There's just a talking point.
Do you support? So his poll would be: do you support transgenders?
His poll would be: do I still have one?
I will tell people this, and I think I probably already said it like over and over and over again in this conversation. Anybody that doesn't support it, don't say you don't support it. Just don't fucking say anything.
That seems like
fucking
Nazi Germany.
You don't have to. You don't have to say anything.
No, I mean
it's not going to change. You by you telling me that you support something isn't going to change the world in a day.
Well, some people love to wear their support.
Supporting it isn't going to change what happened in the world. It's what is happening. It's not. Just leave people alone, but don't be a dickhead and say I don't support this because these people are fucking weird. No, they are human beings. They have their rights. If they feel like they need to do this, then let them do it.
The thing
if they feel it's their body, let them do what they want.
So the thing that
now,
go
ahead.
Okay, so with what Alpha is saying is there's nothing. The sensitivity training needs to be abolished. I mean, the training aspect of it is kind of stupid because it's corporately made. I would say though, like, what happened to people? Sensitivity is something that your close friends and family will have with you because they know you. But the mass public, you can't force sensitivity on the mass public. It's just not going to work. You see so much fucking hate and everybody's like any fucking thing, you even in this fucking chat at one point in time for some reason. You know, like you can see like that shit like crawl in no matter where you are. But trying to force the entire public to be sensitive about your situation is just not going to happen.
Right.
No, I definitely agree with you on the whole idea of like
sensitivity exists within the people that you trust because the people you trust know you, and they'll be sensitive. Yeah, but they'll be sensitive to whatever your plight may be at the time. So say, like you lose a family member or something, people are gonna know you will be sensitive. But it's not fair to expect somebody that has no idea.
Let's just all introduce ourselves with our trauma, right? Let's do this right off the bat.
This is what fucking Twitter has become. It's like, who am I? Well, I'm a fucking bisexual Quasimodo. Identify as his/her pan. It's like, man, what is that? Like that is your bio of who you are or what you want to do.
But I mean, the intent. The problem is that like,
I cannot confront this person because they're 18 different things, and I don't know which one they are in the moment.
I think the intent is good. Equality, clarity, and everyone to understand and everyone as best as we possibly can. Cool,
I think
awesome,
we can all
great.
agree on that. Yes, for sure. 100%.
It's when, just like almost anything in this world, things are taken too far on both sides.
Correct.
And I think that this is you know what I mean? Like, I think at the end of the day, the concept of like, oh, you know, I don't know about you, but like, or any of you guys, but when I was growing up as a kid, like I always see these like PSAs, not the Canadian ones, fuck all that, because kids getting crashed by fucking cars. But like this whole thing of like, you know, peace, equality, understand, you know, give peace a chance and all this stuff. It wasn't like shoved down our throats, but it was a prominent like message as a kid growing up. And it's like, that's all you need. But now it gets so like complicated and weighed down and like,
but it's like,
I've got my I've got my slew of emotional problems, and I'm messed up in the head plenty, and I could go on, and I'm not going to. But the point is that I'm not gonna like, I'm not like expecting anyone to bow to my problems.
I feel like the only time you'd have expectation to have somebody be sympathetic to your problems depending on how big they were, as if it's a really like your significant other or a really close friend. Like that is somebody that knows you. But to expect like fucking some random fucking
From a
person on the
stranger.
street to be like, oh
Yeah.
my god, you know what? I'm not going to be a dick today because somehow through telekinesis I understand that you're having a bad time. No, that's just
Right.
like you have to understand that you have to kind of have a bit of thick skin dealing with the public. It's just a
I think-
prerequisite.
I think like the world, and this will be the last thing I say on this for now anyway, is I think the world / society has mixed and interchanged and confused the definitions of respect, tolerance, acceptance, and support.
Yeah.
I think those 4 words have been mushed together, and that if you're not one of those things, you are none of those things.
Yeah,
that's not
it's an all or nothing. Well, I mean,
Right.
case in point, like that whole fucking what was it that thing we talked about? I don't know if it was like 2 weeks ago or something. The email thing where they were forcing somebody to put his, her, or his, him, or her. Like that type of thing is like you should not be able to influence what people put on either their personal email, their work email. Like obviously there's a signature, but like the problems you might encounter by forcing people to say this is what I identify as, because for the most part, nobody fucking cares.
Well, it's like
Every single person I meet at work is you and him, or not. It's you or their name, because I have no idea. There's so many fucking people with men's names that are women, and vice versa.
Right. And I should when I responded to that, and it was a text message or a tweet. This husband was like, my wife is being forced to put on her pronouns at the bottom of her email for work. And he said, well, what should she do? I should have put none ya. I identify it as none ya fucking business, motherfucker.
Perfect.
Because what are they going to say?
Well, it's just like another way that people are going to like. People are shit for the most part. Like they're not like they're gonna see that and they're gonna label you again in some way or the other. It's like, well, it's Dave from tech, but he identifies as them, and I hate him because of this. Like,
Can someone? Before you keep going, I don't want to derail you, but like, can someone who follows us on social media please make an inspirational quote picture with Basement's quote just saying people are shit and make it as beautiful as humanly possible? We will gladly give you credit and show it on the show, but continue.
100% true, man. People are shit. I mean, half the time they don't even want to be shit, or they're not actively thinking about being shit, but they're shit anyway. But this is why
sometimes the MRE in the middle of the field happens.
We're all just a bunch of shit.
This is why you have to look at the world without like constant expectations of everybody around you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's become the world we live in. It's like, well, I'm really fragile. I'm going through the beginning of my transition. Cool. I don't know who the fuck you are, and I don't give a fuck. So
yeah,
have fun. I guess.
I was talking to. Funny thing, I was talking to a soldier. It's kind of the same subject. I was talking to a soldier today. Me personally, I was talking to soldiers in general. I said, me personally, I hate people. I do.
True. He does.
I do. Well, it's not that I hate people. I just don't like people bothering me.
I don't like the intricacies of when people are the worst, which is a lot.
But I love. So there are two groups of people that I will.
And they're transgenders.
And we support, and that is the soldiers and their families.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's what I do for a living. But I truly am very passionate about that. But I'm not going to throw it. Connor, you have to support the troops. You have a right not to. You can say, fuck them motherfuckers. What have they done for me? They've done nothing for you, really. But they have. However,
something wrong.
So,
Fuck, I
you
didn't even
get
open
what
my
I'm
mouth.
saying. You get what
Well, I
I'm
mean,
saying.
it's a good comparison between like. So you're saying, the two people that I care about are things that are important to me because they are kind of what defines me, which is the idea, I guess, for somebody that's like transgender. It's like this is what I care about. But like as soon as you get to that point of saying you don't have to support what I support, it blows their whole argument out of the water.
Right.
A couple people said some pretty accurate things in the chat. Jurgen says, I'm the kind of person that doesn't open up quite easily, and yet they are saying you have to open up to everybody now. No, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Jurgen. Aru piggybacking saying, I only open up to people I get really close to, like Basement. He knows certain things about me, so does Cora and Gina. They tell Alpha saying, they tell you to open up to you only for when you do. They shouldn't, no matter what. They basically do it to trap it. Not referring to them specifically, obviously, in terms of just like other people out there. Which you know what, I'm not disagreeing with you on that one in terms of like other people out there who have done that.
All of those things are true.
Yep.
Yes, I know things.
Mm-hmm. So, people suck. That's why I prefer animals. I can't say I blame on that one, Tim. But
people are technically animals.
I hate fucking gophers.
Baby.
If I see a gopher, I try to kill it.
You go for it?
I get out of the car and run.
I go for it. I fuck them things. They ruined my life.
I mean, all you have to do is just fart near one. I'm pretty sure you can kill an entire ecosystem.
I thought I did Connor with you go for it, but no. He said
somehow, mysteriously, an entire ecosystem has somehow diminished in less than 2 hours.
He was rooting for Bill Murray and fucking Caddyshack. So fuck all you people supporting that fucking gopher.
For some reason, all the animals had look of disgusts and flared nostrils as they lay dead and motionless in the middle of the interstate highway.
It's mad cow disease, part 2.
Emphasis on the 2. Well, we should probably switch gears to a little bit something more lighter, shall we? Since I have no other way to fucking transition out of this one, no pun intended.
Transition out of this, but
yep, no pun intended. This one's an interesting one. For an Indian couple is suing their son and daughter-in-law I love this. Shit like this makes me laugh. A retired Indian couple is apparently suing their son and daughter-in-law, demanding that they produce a grandchild within 1 year, or they pay them 50 million rupees, which translated is $675,000 American. Sanjeev Ranjan Prasad, a 61-year-old retired government official, said it was an emotional and sensitive issue for him and his wife, and they cannot wait any longer. His son, a pilot, was married 6 years ago.
That's so weird.
Okay. Prasad said he spent 3.5 million rupees for his son's pilot training lessons in the United States. The main issue was at his age, we need a grandchild, but these people, my son and daughter-in-law, have an attitude that they don't think about us. We got him married in the hope we would have the pleasure of becoming grandparents. It has been 6 years since their marriage. It feels as if despite everything, we have nothing. I love how they treat this like a business fucking transaction / investment.
That's India for you.
Yeah.
The court accepted their petition, scheduled it for a hearing on Monday in Haridwar, a city in northern. I'm not even going to pronounce that one. Media report says the son and daughter-in-law could not be reached for comment. Prasad said he and his wife love children, clearly. We are not getting love and affection from where we want it the most. He says they feel very unlucky. The last part fucking cracks me the fuck up.
There's a fucking couple of dickheads, man.
He said he and his wife love children, so much so that he's suing one of them.
I love children. Yeah, I only had one.
No less. Well, he's not a child anymore.
Speaking of hating people,
I mean, this is the thing. Like, this to me is, if true, which I believe it to be, is fucking disgusting. Like, I mean, they would only exist in, unfortunately, that culture, because a lot of the times it's about, like, you have to have we have, like, you guys, I mean, we're kind of the same. We have an American dream, I'm going to have 2 kids, a wife, half a dog, or whatever the fuck it is. A picket fence. So it's kind of the same idea with them, where they're, like, really expecting a lot, and usually it's keep the lineage going.
The last part of the article cracks me the fuck up. I love kids. Hence why we're suing one of them.
And
Right.
for so much, I mean, yeah. In what way does have you any? In what way would you ever win this?
Because I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to be logical here, because probably in their mind, with the culture that they're from,
I would kill
he's not
these
a
people.
child anymore. He's not their child anymore.
I will kill these people.
I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't be right there with you.
They seem like the worst, man. We have nothing, yet we still have our health, and we have the fucking son who's
I
married.
think that's the culture. No, I'm not saying that it is. So if there's somebody from India watching this, I'm not talking shit about your culture, but I think that's the way it is there.
It's not all of India.
Do
It's
not think that their grown-ass child is their child anymore.
well,
It makes no sense.
I think it's more along the lines of, like, because they still have arranged marriages being pretty prominent, or having it be like, well, you basically winked and helloed by your mom or dad telling you that this person that we know has this daughter or this whatever son. They're always trying to hook people up.
Yep, that's their culture. You will get married to this. It's arranged marriages, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, like, the Indian friends that I have even exist here to an extent.
Really?
It's not arranged, but it's like there's multiple people that I know that have been like hint, winked at, like, from their, like, mom and dad to be like, we know this girl, you need to marry this girl. So it's like,
hey, does this smell like chloroform?
You watched The Big Bang Theory, right?
That's what I was just going to bring up.
Yes.
That is
So-
Rajesh. Rajesh, he was from India. That's their culture.
well, a lot of
That's
like
what-
first generation immigrants here have like a really strong, non-influenced Canadian cultural background.
But like I get like the
'cause, like,
strong
it's
cultural
like-
ties to like
it's
have
like-
like the offspring and shit like that. But
it's
like
like-
to sue?
It's like disownment if you don't like hit certain points that are
No,
required of you.
You know what I would do? I'd just jack off in my dad's face. Here, go goop this up and shove it up mom's vagina. There's your fucking grandkid card.
Sometimes it is the most simple solutions that elude us.
The worst solution to anything is jacking off in my dad's face.
Imagine the interview right after. This is not going to be tolerated by any. My eye burns. How do you? And she's like, yeah, no, know what it's like. It's a fucking mess.
You know what? I'm just gonna jack off in my dad's face.
You may not be the right one, but fuck it. They want to be
God.
douchebags about it. You want to sue me? Now you can sue me for an even million, you cocksucker.
I can't believe they go to that extent. Like, first of all, this has nothing to do with the court of law at all. Period.
Yeah.
I want grandkids. Give me
I would love
grandkids, or I'm going to.
See JP in a full suit on people's court when the judge reads over that part about, and then what was on his face?
It was jizz, Your Honor.
It's all I could do. No,
That's all I had. That's all I
no, it's that's so fucked up. And like, I can't believe it's like we want a grandkid, or else we're taking all your money and buying one from fucking Somalia or something. They wouldn't do that. I can
mean,
tell
if
you
he's a
that right
pilot,
now.
just move.
I bet you any money too. Like, with a lot of, like, from my experience with a lot of fucking Indian people, they're very like, you need to marry somebody of the same faith. You need to marry somebody from the same place. So it's not only that you have to adhere to that. It's like, and within X number of years, we're expecting a daughter, a son. You had 2 daughters. Where's my 670,000?
Yep,
Like,
receipt,
it's that
bitches.
ridiculous.
Well, typically with the Indian people, they want the boy. They want to have a boy first, so that boy can then continue on their legacy.
Their legacy. What kind of legacy? It's like
What I'm hearing is no jizz on the face.
It's like
is what
they think they're all fucking kings or some shit, man. No, man. The legacy is you probably like
It's an old
take
school
MRE
mentality, though.
probably take MRE farts on your wife every night. It's like, you must continue doing this, but why?
You can see bone coming off her face, out her foreskin or her forehead there.
Look, all right. God damn it. I still say that first. I still say my option works the best.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's hilarious.
The world will remember me for suing my kid.
Yeah, I'll never forget you for not having a fucking kid ever again. Because every time he bitches, splooge on his face. Here, Dad, here's another one. Oh, you don't want to do it? Then shut the fuck up.
I just can't believe, like, to have the mindset, to be so fucked up mentally to think you have control over, like, it's basically this guy being like, you need to fuck that girl constantly because we need it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if it was an arranged marriage, he does in that culture.
But Dad, every time I stick my penis in her vagina,
she looks like a fucking mail post.
Alpha said in the chat, I'm sorry, but fuck that couple. No kids deserve that crap. Yep.
Well, not the married couple, not the younger couple. The parents of the guy.
The parents need to be rocket launched, like fucking killed immediately.
The Indian Ocean.
Yeah, just fucking. You ever see open water? That's what I would do.
So what did the son? Did the son respond to it?
Neither of the kids responded.
I would.
I know how you would.
With jizz.
Ooh, Jerry puts up a good point. Maybe the parents may not realize maybe she can't get pregnant.
They don't care.
Well, maybe he can. Calvin Klein presents.
You know what'll happen?
You divorce this girl and take everything she's got.
You're not married anymore. You need to find somebody that can get you pregnant.
Maybe the man's maybe he's not into women. He was just forced to marry one. Now he's just jacking off in
his dad's face.
Tim said
jacking off in his own pants, crying.
Tim said Heather's right. If it was an arranged marriage, then that may be how the court sees it. I mean, I've seen 2 arranged marriages, like of like friends that I have that their parents were arranged. Man, it's like business and only business. There is no actual love marriage
between the two. Yeah, well, eventually it gets there, like within a year.
Ish.
Yeah,
it's going to cost you $750,000.
Never get married to anybody. Just have sex a lot.
Jizz in your dad's face, apparently. There's a good message. 2 of the 3. Anyway. Moving.
It's probably better to jizz in someone else's dad's face.
Probably. Yeah. JP's like, well, you know, if the jizz fits,
it's where
I just can't.
I have to talk about this next piece first because obviously kind of switching gears to something more serious than jizz faces is the unfortunate events of the Buffalo shooting. Now, I didn't know a whole lot of details until I read this article. I knew generally what happened. So for those of you who don't, I'm going to kind of briefly paraphrase this. And of course, we have a link down in the article in the description if you guys want to check that out and get more detailed information. But just kind of going off of this article from the BBC News, an 18-year-old white man has shot dead 10 people in a black neighborhood of New York State in what authorities are calling a racially motivated attack. The man, named as Peyton Gendron, I'm not sure, in court papers, was arrested after a standoff at the scene, a supermarket in the city of Buffalo, New York. He began firing in the store's parking lot before entering and continuing his rampage, streaming the attack online. President Biden condemned what he described as an abhorrent act. We are investigating this incident as both a hate crime and a case of racially motivated violent extremism, said the FBI's Buffalo office. CBS News reported that the attacker shouted racial slurs during the shooting and suggested that he had a racial slur written on his weapon. He also apparently posted a manifesto online which included racist language and ideas. The suspect is believed to have driven some 200 miles to reach the predominantly black area of the city. 3 people were shot dead in the car park, and the other 7 were killed inside the supermarket. Police said most of the victims were black. Exited the vehicle. He was very heavily armed. He had tactical gear, a tactical helmet on, and the camera was live streaming the entire event. he said the suspect surrendered his weapon after a tense standoff and was taken into custody. He later appeared in court charged with first-degree murder. 3 more people, all supermarket staff, were wounded in the shooting but did not sustain life-threatening injuries. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I read the article and actually like looked at the manifesto of this guy. At this, just fucking shoot him. Just kill him. Just kill him. There's no hope here. He needs to die.
This guy is so far off the deep end and so steeped in that kind of hatred that he don't deserve daylight anymore.
The thing that blew my mind is like he's 18 years old here, right?
Yep.
Within like 2 years, he was so indoctrinated by fucking shit he found on the internet that he was like, "This is the only truth that I know. It's 100% the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth." Just like literally kill this guy. There's no point.
Okay.
Like, you know, he did everything he did. I don't care if there's hope for him.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. Here's the thing that I want to say about this when the news reported on this. Well, no shit. It was abhorrent. Joe. Sleepy Joe. Any fucking shooting is abhorrent. They're all bad. Not just this one. Every one of them is bad. Are we ever going to stop it? No. It's never going to end. I hate to say that. I'm a realist. You don't like what I have to say? I don't give a shit. Telling you the truth. If it hasn't stopped, how many shootings have we had in the last?
In the last like 48 hours, there's been like 3 mass shootings or something in the last like 48 hours.
It happens every day. Is this one racially? It really probably does. 1,000%
for sure. Like after seeing the manifesto and stuff, this guy's.
But
fucked.
Here's the thing. Now we're falling back into this. Oh, white people are bad people because.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I can almost 1,000% think that this guy got his mindset because the world decided to make races hate each other in the last 4 years or 5 years.
I don't want to like blame his upbringing, but at the same time, I guarantee you that was a major factor in this.
Well, his upbringing, he's got two other brothers and a mom and a dad. He said he never I'm gonna paraphrase from what I read. I think the manifesto is fucking long as shit. I'm not reading 180 pages of this fucking guy's shit. Never. I read probably like 10 pages and skimmed. Well, probably like I went through like 20 and skimmed through some of it. But he said he was never like, he had no thought about anything or never thought racially about anything until he ran into some sort of YouTube channel that did that. And it was a guy that killed a bunch of people in Europe. Like, where was he from? He's from like New Zealand or something. And he went and killed.
Right. So what I get out of this, it's still on the parents. Not because they probably supported what he was doing. A lot of parents allow their kids to just do whatever the fuck they want.
But I also have to put some onus on like media, man. That we have no control. There's literally no control over media. Most monsters are made because of what they hear and see and everything like that, and they just turn into like fucking. Like, I mean, the way that this guy sounded was like at some point in time I had an awakening where I realized that everything in the world was stopping white people from making more white people. like his shit is definitely super racist. And like, without an understanding, I think it's like written clearly, but he doesn't like he understands nothing in what he's like talking about when it's why he did what he did. It's fucking weird as shit, man.
It just blows my mind that like. That I mean, I shouldn't say blows my mind. It just really, it is abhorrent that this shit still exists. You know, like I know there are people.
So it's not.
Fuck.
But we can't.
I mean, okay, man.
If we wanted to put a and just hear me out. It'll sound stupid. It's gonna sound stupid because I'm fucking, The only way we're gonna stop any of this shit, get rid of the internet. It's the only way.
I
don't think it's that simple.
I will tell you that I do honestly believe if I had to like theorize something for the next 30 years that's going to change mankind is there's going to be much heavier policing of the internet.
I agree with that.
It's the next step that will happen because the internet, I mean, in this respect, it seems like the internet helped create this monster, and it's not just the internet, but it's the ideals that were like when you bring things to a forefront, it's like, well, we had to expose this and this and this. I understand there's a point where exposition is something, but then you turn it and you turn it into like a showcase. And then you force people to pick sides. You turn people against each other, and you never get held accountable for anything. So, I mean, this guy is a fucking. He should be. He honestly, at this point in time, I would just say kill him.
I'm surprised they didn't shoot him. To be honest with you,
I would just say kill him. There's really for me, you're caught in the act of massacring 10 people. Yeah, nothing about anything that they found about you is redeemable. Like, it's like, well, he could turn his life around in prison. I'm like, or he could just eat a bullet and die, like the 10 people that he killed. So
you can't just kill somebody for killing somebody.
In this respect, I think I would.
So here's the problem: in the United States, can't do that.
Well, you can't do it really here either. But like, I think. I get what you're saying. When there's
irrefutable
evidence of somebody being this bad, like, yeah.
I get it. But if the state of New York allows the death penalty, then by all means, if that's what they want to do, then do it. However, if it don't, he's just going to sit in jail for the rest of his life looking at a wall. I wouldn't let him. I'd put him in solitary confinement and just let him sit there and go crazy.
I would leave him in solitary confinement. I would just not feed him and let him starve to death.
Well, you can't do that.
I know, but that's what I would do.
You'd end up in jail yourself.
The thing is, like, all you're doing is taking, for this case, for sure, man, you're just taking money away from. You're paying for him to live a shitty life.
Well,
actually, it costs more to put somebody to death than it does to fucking keep them alive.
I mean, if you take a bullet to the brain, it's only going to cost the cost of a bullet.
You can't know. It all works.
No, we have to choose the most expensive method.
We could. They used to do that.
Rocks are free.
They used to do that, but
or you can get a machete and just hack them away.
There was a law passed where it's saying it was inhumane.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I mean, we have a couple different topics that are kind of on this, like, this point where it's like it's gonna take like a tipping point for what you believe.
We're picking all the controversial shit today, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, normally I am not for the death penalty, but like the irrefutable fact and everything in this specific, like, I don't really see a reason to not do it.
Kill it?
Yeah, like there's literally nothing that's been presented, and people are like, "Well, he's 18 and he can change his life." Well, he's 18 and gave up his life, so
correct, and he should be punished for it. What does that entail? State of New York, there is no such thing as a death penalty, so he will sit in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
I would put that motherfucker. So I would put that motherfucker in solitary confinement. Still have to give him. It's not saying that you have to allow him to eat, but you have to feed him 3 times a day. That's it.
Be a bullet.
But you can't pull the trigger.
I just feel like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's like reading everything that he like certain things that he wrote. It's like he has no idea. Like he's trying to be the
I
most
guess that begs
knowledgeable
the
person
question.
in the
Like,
world at 18 with
I hear
stupid
ya.
ideals and no understanding of what he's about to go through because he's
Yes,
18
I
years
know.
old. He's not a fucking. He has no life experience. Fuck this guy. But I get it. Like in the end, I'm not for the death penalty because I do feel like the chance that it could be like misassigned is basically destroys the justice system.
It does.
So
I mean, you look at all the overturned shit from DNA evidence from like 40 years ago. It's like, oh, whoa, shit.
Yeah.
and also,
You know,
I mean,
even those rare cases, it's like, fuck.
also the fact that the justice system is kind of like a government business, so it's gonna
It
be
is.
run like
Is
shit.
that why you're gonna move? Is that why you're gonna move to the state's basement, like immediately? Huh? You coming on down?
It's run like shit here. It's run like shit there. But yeah, fuck this guy. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's no in between on the North American content.
Seriously?
Like, I mean, his actual idea was that he wanted to get everybody that was like non-white of European descent out of America, and every single person that he could kill that wasn't that way.
Good luck with that.
And then like in the fucking thing, it's like the manifesto is basically like, I think he went to like manifestos for dummies because like it asks a question and he writes an answer.
Did he like put a template? Like, did he like did the manifesto template on Google?
It is pretty much that. That's what it feels like.
my
This
God.
guy's like, yeah, well, why? And then he hates Jewish people, obviously.
The little paperclip comes up. Hey, I see you're really looking to write a manifesto. You need it.
Clippy's here for you. Clippy
God.
puts on a fucking swastika. Gets to
Nobody
work.
likes you. Well, since we're on a slew of different controversial subjects and whatnot, we might as well do the last one and just get this one out of the way. The outrage over the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade. Should we just get this out of the way?
People are going to hate me for this one.
So I'm going to go to get a drink while JP, and I need to stress this, JP takes the stage here on the... Again, JP, his address I will link in my bio on Twitter. I'm kidding. Well, I'll let JP take the floor while I go get a very long drink.
I'm going to say this. I'm walking on eggshells here.
Walking on sunshine.
I think people are overreacting to the decision. All this decision is doing is putting it back on the states. That's just saying the federal government has no... The Supreme Court is not going to rule on an abortion case anymore. I think that's essentially what it means. I mean, of course, if it becomes a liberal... conservatives in America don't normally agree with abortion. Now, I agree with abortion to a certain extent. To a certain extent, I do not.
I think
It does not mean that I'm not... Okay, so if Heather came to me and said she was pregnant, and she said, I'm going to get an abortion.
Tiger uppercut.
I don't agree with what you were doing, but I cannot tell you no. Because it is your body. I'm just telling you that I don't agree with what you are doing. I can't tell her she can't do it. It's her body. She's the one that's got to carry that thing for 9 months. And I seen her carry Wendy for 9 months. And to be honest with you, it's her body. She's the one going through it all.
I feel
You know?
like the only thing that I would put against that is the pregnancy is her entire body, but the like fallout of that involves you for as long as that child's alive. So I would say like, yeah, I mean, if I was with a girl that I was like, yeah, we should get aborted, and she's like, no, I want to keep the baby. I'll be like, okay, but we have to like compromise at some point. If I don't think I can take care of a kid or whatever the situation is, um, you can't like the thing is like forcing the baby to stay is something that I have no choice into that I'm gonna have to deal with in the aftermath of it. In terms of like if I'm not with her, child support or taking care of the kid or being there for a bunch of things.
So my stance really is, if she came to me and said that, I don't support what she's doing. I can't tell her no.
I agree with that. But I think then there has to be some sort of ruling where like
My
there's
thing
an
is,
absolution.
thank you for telling me. All I want to know is, I don't want her to just go, well, by the way, I had an abortion, because that would piss me off more.
That would be terrible. I mean, I'll in the end, like my stance, I think the stance that
It's sensitive. So we're talking about it being sensitive. And I understand females. It's their body. I get it. I'm not taking that away from you. And I know Gina would probably be all up in arms with what I'm about to say. Well, probably be up in arms with what I've said. However, I disagree with what doing it just because you don't want it. Well, maybe I want it. You know what I mean? But I can't tell her no because it is her body. I do appreciate the fact that she does tell me. That's all I would ever want is, I'm getting an abortion. At least let us discuss it.
So,
however, I can't tell you you're not doing it because it's your body. You're going to do it anyway. You've made your decision. I can't tell you no.
So I feel like the conversation that you're having is a bit like after the fact of the Roe vs. Wade idea, where it's no abortion is not allowed versus abortion is allowed. I do feel like there's a healthy compromise in terms of like how far somebody is, where it would be noticeable.
The only decision that was made in this is that they rescinded Roe versus Wade and put it back to the state.
But
so
now that's also like also fucking. That's
here's why, here's why it should be. I can't go to Illinois and get health insurance.
Are the states united or are they not?
Okay, they are.
I mean, this seems like something that's nationwide and should be accepted nationwide. I can see the problems that will birth from this not being.
You're not going to allow the state to make a decision on something? Then why do we have governors? Why do we have state senators?
I mean, they make decisions on several other things, but babies and when something is considered alive, I don't agree with that.
That's a huge issue in this country. I'm sorry, it is.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think it shouldn't be statewide. It doesn't make sense for me to be in one state and be like, I can't have an abortion, another state can have an abortion anytime I want. I just feel like abortion-wise, there should probably be like a healthy compromise to be like.
Not everybody agrees.
No, not everybody's going to agree on anything we're going to choose. Period. I do feel like there is a certain amount of time where you give the person carrying the baby enough time to think if they want or can handle the baby, or if they whatever the case might be around the baby, maybe it has like
just a baby issue. This is a federal government issue. They want to have their fucking hand in goddamn fucking everything. Fuck the federal government.
Well, fuck. I wouldn't want the state to decide, because then I'm just gonna go to a different state and get an abortion.
Because with here, if you go to another state, your insurance will not cover it.
Yes.
That just seems fucking terrible.
No, it's not.
So what I'm gonna say was, no disrespect to JP or Basement, but maybe let the person who has the uterus in the conversation have the discussion and talk. I'm not saying you guys don't have opinion on it. I'm not saying that I'm taking it away, but
all right,
there is one person or gender here that it kind of influences and impacts a little bit more than us. So Heather, the floor is yours.
I was gonna let you guys have your fun and then say my spiel at the end because I agree that yes, abortion in certain cases, such as a health risk or child formed by rape, or if it's a situation where when you got pregnant you could afford it, but then circumstances happen and now you can't afford it. I understand in those situations.
That last situation, there's really no way legally they can regulate. So you can just use that excuse regardless. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's the ones that sit there and fucking just go get an abortion because, well, I want to keep having sex. Use a fucking condom.
Using it as a form of birth control, essentially.
Well, I mean, like a repeat offender of abortion, there's got to be records of that shit, and you can.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it's like, no, you are not getting one. You're just fucking. You leave this office to sit on dick.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit needs to be stopped. I don't know how prevalent that is. I think most of the time abortion is used for people that are not ready for the kid.
Whether I agree that the states should have it or that decision or not, I don't give a shit. My issue is that people are overreacting. Oh, there's you can't have an abortion. It's my body. Well, of course it's your fucking body, you fucking clown. If you can't have the abortion in that state and you want to have an abortion, you better go find a state that does and get their fucking health insurance, which means you have to fucking move there.
Jurgen did say
that's not my problem.
That seems very weird to me. That idea.
Jurgen did say in the chat that
I think it should be the state's decision. That's just me. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Jurgen in the chat said they've never worked in a hospital in the ER. And he goes, he has. And one time he did hear a female patient came in from an assault and said out loud that she did not want the guy's baby. So, I mean, yeah, there are obviously extreme situations like that.
If I was a betting man, I would say the majority of abortions exist for people that are between the ages of maturity and 20 years old, whenever they become mature. I would say.
So to real quick, kind of the reason that we were bringing this up is because there's apparently a leak or a leaked draft of the Supreme Court's deliberation in a related case suggests that the court plans to overturn the 1973 Roe versus Wade ruling establishing a constitutional right to abortion. Its intention, it says here, the February draft reveals the Supreme Court's intention at a date to overturn Roe altogether. Now, of course, what this means is, like what JP said, is that it will make it no longer a constitutional right, but instead revert the decision back to states. And it says in at least 16 states and the District of Columbia, access to abortion has already been made a fundamental right by state legislature courts, regardless of the Supreme Court's upcoming decision. Abortion will thus remain available to any pregnant person who lives in or can afford to travel such a state for the procedure. The primary burden of the court's action will be borne by bad choice of words, by pregnant people who cannot afford such out-of-state treatment. And of course,
it doesn't make any sense, to be honest, to do it
if the court overturns it, abortion will most likely be tightly restricted or banned quickly in 22 states. In 19 of these, laws banning the procedures already exist. Legislators wrote them explicitly in the hopes of the court overturning Roe. If this happens, such laws will quickly go into effect. Those states are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming.
I mean, why would you even, like... I need to understand, why would you agree with the idea of state ruling, considering you're looking at a nation that exists where it's like, yeah, you can't have that baby here, but if you move elsewhere and uproot your entire life, go there to do it, it doesn't really, to me, I don't get the idea behind
why they're overturning it.
No, I don't get the idea behind it being like state ruled at all.
Well, why do
enough of them?
States have their own laws, basement?
No, I understand, but I don't think this should be a state law. I think this should be a nation law.
They should follow the law of the country.
Yes.
The law of the nation.
Yes.
Well, then that's essentially fascism.
No, I think this should be. I think there's certain things that should be state-driven or provincial-driven here, and there's certain things that shouldn't be. This, to me, makes no sense why it wouldn't be nation-driven.
It shouldn't be nation-driven. It's a healthcare issue, and they put the issue of the healthcare on the states.
But tell me why this specific one? Why would it be? What's the benefit to doing it statewide? What's the benefit to doing it statewide?
It's not just abortion. That is, they're putting this on the.
But why can't it be just abortion?
Why can't it be?
Yeah.
Because lawmakers in the Supreme Court don't know how to do that.
Well, Supreme Court.
Just make it happen.
They do.
I mean, Jesus.
Well, they can't just make shit happen. Congress would have to put it into law.
I feel like this like having it being statewide is just like all you're gonna do is like
Create more conflict.
Yeah, breed a bed of division.
Not necessarily though, because.
Well, you're gonna like. I mean, it's then you're gonna have people in that state that are like 50-50, for and against. And
question again: if we're going to say that the abortion issue has to be a nationwide law or whatever, then why in the fuck do we have state governments?
Because there's a lot more that goes on statewide than abortion.
If you're going to tell me that abortion should only be everything should be a federal law, then
abortion specifically,
I can't get behind that. I can't.
Well, you can't get behind anything being a federal law, or just abortion?
No. Oh no. I don't mind most federal laws.
Yeah.
States have adopted.
Right.
Abortion is one of those that not every state has adopted.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's not just. All I'm saying is, if we're going to say that abortion needs to be a federal law, then why not fucking have everything as a federal law?
Well, you could say that for any federal law that existed before abortion.
What? Say it again.
You could basically say that for any federal law that has been put into place before abortion. Certain things need to be decided on a mass scale because there is so much ambiguity and understanding of them that like doing it state to state is only going to cause, first of all, divisiveness within that state, state for state, and also like people fucking.
Which is why we vote.
Yeah, but voting is fucking bullshit, man. I'm sorry, but like certain things, this specifically because it's such a hot topic thing. State to state, you're just making more problems. You're just making more problems.
The issue isn't the issue is the issue, but the issue really is that everybody's all up in arms over Roe versus Wade being rescinded and not a constitutional right.
Yep.
I think that the actual question should have been like,
people are open. The reason I said people are overreacting is people are overreacting because now I can't get people are saying now I can't get an abortion because they rescinded.
But how many people are out there being like, man, I'm treating abortion like a fucking vending machine? I don't think there's a huge population of people doing that.
Yeah, that's the part I have a problem with, obviously.
But I don't think there's a huge population of people doing that. I think in most cases, the idea of like prohibiting abortion or putting on a state level where it's going to be prohibited for certain people, it limits options for the majority. And yeah, we could look at the minority of it, which are the people that are going to treat it like a vending machine. But there's very few of them. I can't imagine being a human that there's a huge amount of humans out there that are like, yeah, I got another baby again. Kill it. Half of those people are fucking probably already fucked anyway.
Basement, if they changed it around with, let's say, only like 5 states, would
I
ban
would
it
just
completely.
said the more important thing to look at is deciding on when life is a life.
That's a whole rabbit hole conversation.
That's the actual conversation. But that's the actual conversation that needs to happen.
Well, yeah, but the conversation that we're having now has nothing to do
Well, I would say that conversation needs to happen, and then I would leave it as federal.
The issue is that they rescinded Roe versus Wade, which essentially made it not a constitutional right.
Correct.
Because where in the Constitution does it say that you can have an abortion?
Yeah, but the Constitution was written. I mean, the bottom line is Constitution written by a bunch of fucking regular men.
No shit.
So it can be revised.
It's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is all that decision did is it put it back to the states. It becomes the state's decision as to whether or not they can legalize abortion or not. That's it.
I'm going to tell you right now, alpha federal and provincial or state government, it's the same fucking thing, man. I mean, it's the same government. It's just like from a different perspective of what they can and can't do.
Am I wrong in what I'm saying? Because I know Heather. We've got a woman.
But like in what world is it to the federal government's benefit to do one way or the other? Considering it's
beneficial for them if they don't have the burden of having to regulate it. You know what I mean? And throw the power.
Yeah, but then it's fucked up because like depending on where
you live, no matter which way you do it. To be honest with you,
depending on where you live in a nation that's supposed to be united, you're not at all.
Okay, well, let's just agree to this. The whole concept of the fact that this is even a fucking debate in general is kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Anyway. But my point is that it's at least the way I see it is that it's fucked up either way. It's fucked up. You're gonna get. It's gonna be a shitty situation no matter what way you place it. Because all they're doing is. If you shift it to the federal government, they've got too much power behind them in terms of taking, and then if you shift it back to the states, they're.
So here's the thing.
I feel like you're going to end up with the same thing that you ended up with the fucking drug shit. You're going to end up with people going to a different state where it's legal, getting it done technically illegally in a legal environment so that the doctor won't have to take too much flack for it.
The thing is...
it doesn't, like, I don't know, man. It doesn't really make sense.
Well, no, what I was going to say was those states that are already against it are already putting up massive barriers anyway. So even if they weren't necessarily quote unquote illegal to happen
the states aren't like it's not one person. It's a collective.
No,
so you could be like 60% against and 40%, or sorry, you could be 60% for and 40% against. And then you're living there in that respect. And then if, say, you're 14, you get knocked up, you can't do anything about it. You're 15 with a kid.
What I'm saying is that even if it stayed in the federal government's power, right? Even if they made it and everything stayed the way it was, the states I just listed, I know some of them have massive restrictions or massive hoops you have to jump through in order to get it done. So even if nothing changed, most of those states I listed would still have either I can't remember the specifics, but I know that one of those states has like one clinic that's open like very rarely. And so in order to really have anything of that procedure done, you'd have to travel anyway. So even, it's really not much. It's really not much of a change.
Well, this is not just travel. This is like at a pocket expense. And I mean, like I said earlier, I think the most people that get pregnant that don't want it are teenagers.
You're correct.
So where are they getting this fucking $60,000 to get their fucking vagina scraped out?
Here's the problem, though, Basement. You are thinking back in the times when you and I were 15, 16 years old. Now, most of the kids that get pregnant along with their friends doing little fucking pregnancy packs because they're all trying to get on TV shows like 16 and Pregnant or Teen Moms.
I would say that's not the majority of kids.
It's not the majority, no.
I think the majority of people 15 years old don't want to get pregnant. And not having an out for that is kind of rough on them. And holding somebody accountable for 15. Fuck, you can murder somebody at 15 and not be held accountable for a life sentence like you could getting pregnant because your life sentence is that kid.
Good statement.
So I mean, this is why I feel like it's.
I don't want to talk about the issue because I'm not the issue. We're talking about the issue of the issue. The issue of the issue is that the Supreme Court rescinded.
And I
Roe
prefer it to
versus Wade.
be. I think I'm personally in preference of being it federal law,
I disagree.
which is fine.
So on that note,
Fuck the federal government.
I mean, fuck all government. Like I
seriously.
work for basically what you would consider
just don't
state
want-
government, and it's fucking a shit show. Nobody knows what they're doing ever. So
Well, nobody
much-
ever
so much
really
better.
knows what they're fucking doing. It doesn't matter who it is.
I just feel like I mean this is one of those topics that's
we could go on forever about. I know.
important enough for it to be considered on that mass scale, but that's just me.
But maybe switching gears to something a little bit more lighter. Who's a fan of Chrisley Knows Best?
Nobody.
I thought he was funny.
Oh God, really?
I did.
Oh God, I hate it. Honestly,
Not
like,
all, mind you, not all the time, and not that he was being funny on purpose. It's usually accidental.
This show would come on after SmackDown, and I'd have
Yep.
to see like
Or
10
Raw.
minutes of it, or whenever the fuck it came on. I hate this man. I hate the fact that he looks like he was made in a laboratory. He's 1,000% gay, yet he has a whole family.
He's a metrosexual basement.
No, he's a gay man.
Get the label right. So anyway, if any of you are fans of Todd and Julie Chrisley from the show Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley, they are in some trouble because a federal trial for the reality television stars on charges including bank fraud and tax evasion is set to start tomorrow in Atlanta. The trial is getting underway just days after E announced that it is moving forward with a new dating series, Love Limo, hosted by Todd Chrisley, and weeks after the announcement that the reality shows Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley have been renewed on USA Network and E, respectively. The Chrisleys were initially indicted in August 2019, and a new indictment was filed in February of this year. Prosecutors alleged that the couple submitted fake documents to banks when applying for loans. Julie Chrisley also submitted a false credit report and fake bank statements when trying to rent a house in California, and then the couple refused to pay rent in a few months after they started using the home, the indictment says. The Chrisleys also used a film production company they controlled to hide income to keep the IRS from collecting unpaid taxes owned by Todd Chrisley. Both Chrisleys are charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, 5 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, and 1 count of tax fraud. So they're BFFs with Wesley Snipes then.
Yes. That's what it seems like here. How are you doing, Almighty One?
He's obviously a piece of shit. I hated him the moment I saw him.
It's a fucking idiot.
I mean, the reality TV
The whole
show.
family is a bunch of idiots when it comes right down to it. But
how did he become popular? Is my question.
he's a fashion guy.
He's a fashion guy.
Oh, so he's just he's metrosexual.
His daughter is a
model influencer.
And he sucks dick on the reg.
If he does, he does. I mean, who cares? But anyway, moving on.
I dislike him. I saw this shit and I
I'm
fucking.
not saying I like the guy. It's just some of the shit that he did was fucking hilarious. Like his son pick on him all the time. It's fucking great. But go ahead, Heather.
I heard like last year at some time that somebody he was doing business with had reported him, and that's where all of this started. The troubles with the whole family that they amazingly keep off camera.
Yeah, right.
Adding to the conspiracy theory of reality TV being scripted. Yeah,
it's 100%. It's 100% scripted. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just like if somebody was to tell me now that they're in trouble for something, I'd be like, yeah, I get that. I could easily see that happening.
It fits with what's going with it. It's just that he seems
first of all, I can't watch reality TV, and this was like, I watched 10 minutes of it, and I was willing to kill myself.
I mean,
it was terrible. It was this guy. He's super flamboyant, running around the house, and that was it.
Listen, I'm not saying that this was like prime time quality entertainment on television by any stretch of the imagination.
It's like Jerry Springer.
I don't think it was that high a quality of content, but okay.
What, Jerry Springer?
Teach their own. I can't say I'm too surprised. You see these people with like, these lavish houses and everything like that, and it's just like, well, what else is there to say? Like, I can't. I mean, he does seem like an idiot, so I can sort of believe this story, to be honest with you. So
he looks like he's made out of clay.
I haven't watched the show in a while, so but it would be on right after either Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember which, and
it was SmackDown. I feel strongly about that.
He would come on there and it would be funny. It was funny. Like his kids would do something, and they do look like him. So I don't think
well, I mean, you can have sex with a woman and reproduce and be gay.
You can be having sex with a man and reproduce. Apparently,
I get that.
I mean, I'm almost 1,000% sure this is a gay man.
I mean, I get it too, because I thought something. Oh, it's a front.
But he may be pansexual for all we know at this point.
Either way, some of the shit he would do or have done to him would be funny. Like his daughter wrecked his car. That shit was fucking hilarious.
It looks like he's made out of clay.
I'm looking at the gift that you used, and I can see why you think that. I don't know. I just think you should look some best of, Basement. I think you should look at some best of, because then there's some funny lines. I'm sending it to you now. So
I'd rather kill myself.
So switching gears from that, and again on a more somber note here, we did see that the acclaimed actor Fred Ward passed away today at the age of 79. At the time of this episode, his cause of death was not yet released. Before Ward's film career began in the early 1970s, he had several other titles. He served 3 years in the U.S. Air Force, also worked as a short order cook, a boxer, and a lumberjack in Alaska. Of course, his more prominent roles and his more, more famous roles, specifically of, at least for me anyway, he was in the 1979 Clint Eastwood film Escape from Alcatraz. He, of course, was one of the leads in the first 2 Tremors movies. He was also in the films The Right Stuff, and I believe he was also in, I can't remember which one it was, but it was definitely one of the Naked Gun movies. He played the bad guy. He played the villain in that one.
Okay. Yeah, this guy's great. I love this guy.
So I haven't seen him in I'll be honest, I haven't seen him in too much, but the roles I did see him in, I thought he was a pretty good actor.
He was a very good actor, and he had range. So some of his best movies, like when he was in Naked Gun, he was the bad guy. He played a bad guy, but he played a bad guy, but it was funny.
Oh yeah,
without him trying to be funny.
But that even in Tremors, he's that kind of character. Like he has a comedic tone, but he's like the serious one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Hey, you know what he kind of reminds me of? Remember what's the last Captain America movie we watched? Civil War. Remember what's the fucking actor's name that played Burnface?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The
yeah, you know him.
Oh, okay, hold on. Now I gotta look it up.
I mean, he even looks like him, which is fucking killing me.
Frank Grillo.
Yeah, he looks like him.
God, he does look like a younger version. He looks like if him and Mickey Rourke had a kid.
But I mean, I liked him in his role. I mean, he was the straight man in a comedy monster movie, kind of, because that's kind of what Tremors is. It's not like
yeah.
He played a lot of father roles. Where like
I remember him being in a lot of like.
Good. He was in Johnny Be Good, where he was Uma Thurman's dad, and he was like a cop. I think
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. He was.
I don't know if it was him. It could be him, but he was in that movie, and he played the dickhead fucking father. And if you haven't watched Johnny Be Good, I don't know if it's him, but I think it is.
He's one of those guys that I feel like I've seen in like every movie spanning between like 85 and 2000.
Dumb
He
shit.
never got a huge role. He was always a side piece in every movie that he did. I'm surprised this guy never won an Oscar.
Well, I'm not. With the roles they gave him.
It's not that it's his fault. They just never had any like big.
Where he could have a chance to win one.
I
would have liked to have seen him in bigger movies where he would have had like a chance to shine. You know what I mean? Like I get your point. Like I think he could have done a good job, but yeah, he wasn't really known for like any like big.
He was
I think
pretty
Tremors
heavily.
and Alcatraz are probably going to be, and the Naked Gun movies are probably the big three most prominent ones.
He was pretty. He's pretty heavily typecast as like the. I guess like the strong, sober version in a comedy movie. Because that's kind of what he is in Tremors, and it's kind of what he is in Naked Gun, even though he's the bad guy.
Yeah, but again, he's a celebrity. You know, he doesn't give a shit about me.
Well, he doesn't give a shit about anything anymore.
Yeah, no, he doesn't care.
And, what about you, Heather? Any thoughts or any fond memories of Fred Ward?
My favorite role of his was definitely in Tremors. I mean,
I've never seen that movie.
We watched it together as one.
Yeah, didn't we?
We streamed it.
I don't know if
Yeah.
JP was there. I can't remember. Oh, it was really good though. Tremors, he's great.
Now I have to go back and see if he was there.
I wasn't. I know I wasn't because I didn't watch it because I've never seen the movie. It's okay. You don't have to watch it. We really don't.
It's really good.
Don't make me watch that shit. Because I could tell you right now, if it's anything like fucking Freddy 2,
I mean, it's more like it has its comedy things, but it's not what.
Then I won't like it.
He wasn't where.
He wasn't with us during the stream.
Told you.
Oh yeah, no.
Listen,
We watched-
he's on some fucking streams.
No, if I was there, why don't people believe me when I tell them shit? The fuck is wrong with you people?
I never said
What?
anything.
It's also the fact that we streamed so many movies on this fucking channel that they've just all
Do you think I
blurred.
keep a mental record
I
of?
watched that movie because I cannot tell you one single thing from that movie.
I just needed to ask the question, but did he though?
He did.
Okay, no, he didn't.
There's a weird point in the Tremors franchise when it's like forget about the main characters. We're talking about this guy with the comb over that has a bunch of guns.
Yeah.
I mean, I would too. You know.
They just went full with that for.
Yeah, the franchise did get a little
franchise.
did go a little off the rails, but the first two still hold up as classics.
I mean,
to
I even watched the one where they had the little like T-Rex ones, like the baby T.
Almighty One said it best. Giant penis arms.
The baby T-Rex versions, and they had a bunch of like.
Hey, those T-Rex little ones. I mean, that kind of added a new little.
Yeah, it's like you were scared of the ground. Now you don't have to be.
It didn't quite jump the shark, but it kind of circled around it. You know what I mean?
It was just like it wasn't even like T-Rex ones. It was two T-Rex legs with a gigantic mouth, and that was all it was. It's like,
right.
Where does anything you eat go?
Don't. Why do you have to ask questions like that? I'm gonna be up all night. Thanks. But speaking of classic movies, last little article we got here is that we have an exclusive look that apparently there's going to be a made-to-TV series of a spin-off of the cult classic hit. I don't even say cult classic, but a classic of the A League of Their Own movies. So there's going to be a TV series based off of that.
Honestly, when I read this, sorry, I don't. You finish. It's okay.
Hey, good. As I say, debuting on Amazon Prime Video later this summer. It will reimagine, here we go. Reimagine Penny Marshall's iconic 1992 film about the trailblazing women who fought to play professional baseball in 1940s. Like the original, the new league of their own is a delightful ensemble comedy. What?
Just the
gift that Basement chose.
Oh, let me see. I gotta see now.
Fuck that kid.
Fucking seriously. Like the original, new league of their own is a delightful ensemble comedy following a wide variety of women who devoted their lives to baseball at the height of World War II. Graham and Jacobson are both lifelong fans of Marshall's movie, and they say their goal was to honor and recapture the joy of the original while also telling new, more in-depth stories about the league. So it looks like the show is not a direct remake and instead will introduce entirely new characters. Much of the new series will focus on the women who played in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, a traveling league formed in 1943. Jacobson's character, Carson Shaw, is one of those players, a talented catcher who leaves her small town to pursue her diamond dreams with the Rockford Peaches. So, I mean...
Carson's... Who the fuck is... Heather, save me. Your rage is my rage.
Go ahead. Because you won't.
Well, no.
Why?
Because they're using the Rockford Peaches and they're using the same fucking catcher and pitcher scenario from the fucking movie.
Okay, but that's what they're basing it off of, Heather. Which is it's a series. It's not a remake of the movie.
But how much do you want to bet that this shit is gonna be riddled with fucking messages?
It's riddled with 1942 liberalism.
No, I think it's going to be liberal with today's liberalism in 1942.
The show will fail. The show will.
Well, that's where I'm going to sit right now. They're renaming all the characters, so.
But I am okay. Gina Davis can't play Dottie Henson anymore.
No, renaming them.
I'm not
recasting them.
Okay. I'm not talking about the cast at all. I'm talking about the characters. They're putting Dottie in there. But they're also taking Dottie out because you're creating all new characters.
So?
If they had used a different team...
Okay, so Dottie...
I'd be happy
I'm going to tell you right now, if you go Google Dottie Henson, did she actually play for the Rockford fucking Peaches? I can do it
now. Yes.
Okay, so that's history. Now, Dottie Henson only played one fucking year in the league, if you remember listening to the story as it went. Maybe this story, it happens a year after?
Well, so let me back up here. Sorry.
Hold
on. I want to make sure I read this whole thing correctly. So Dottie Henson is apparently is not a real person, but rather an inspiration.
So it was a fictional story.
My concern is how much integration of today's politics they're going to. This is why I think this is going to be ruined. It's ripe for the picking.
I think it's also going to be ruined for completely different.
It's an all-female baseball team during World War II. They're going to have some sort of like lesbian angle. I can almost guarantee it.
Probably.
Okay.
I can almost guarantee they'll probably have somebody that's like a guy that's like, I want to play for the girls team, but then we don't have this technology now.
I worry that it's going to be so far away removed from the movie that it's going to be only by like the loosest association. You know what I mean? Like,
so they're
like
going
title
to,
only kind of shit.
In order, I'm still gonna check it out because I love the League of Their Own. League of Their Own.
I do too, but like there's certain things with the League of Their Own that they will not translate to today because they'll morph it into some sort of like fucked up shit that nobody cared about then.
Yep.
Okay, I'm still gonna check it out. That doesn't mean that if I start seeing tones of it, yeah, I'll probably not watch it because that's not. And then I'm not watching.
I will say
a show about the history of women's baseball. I'm watching a show about women who want to fuck each other, want to finger bang.
I mean, the thing is, there's
finger blasting Sally Magoo on the fucking street corner.
It'll never be better than the movie, and I don't need to see
of
a
course
show
not.
about the movie. For this movie, I don't. I have no need to see that, and I know it's just gonna be chock full of fucking bullshit that I don't want to see. I'm 9 out of 10 on point with thinking this is gonna be like messages. I don't care about the fucking messages. Eat my ass.
I want the show, and I'm hoping that they do, but I'm not saying you're wrong. Again, if I was doing this show, I would do a show about the history of the women's baseball.
Yeah, but it's an all-female cast in today's society.
So Rosie O'Donnell is slated to be showing up as a guest appearance.
So yeah, it's probably going to be one of those shows.
I'm 95% sure it will turn me off in the first episode.
I'm trying to find out how many episodes they're going to be.
Maybe they just stick to having the movie.
Still gonna check it out, but I do hear you. If there is tones that
of any movie I've seen, like this is not a movie that needs. I don't need the show version of this movie. I really don't.
I kind of want, if they do it right, then I would.
I personally do not need it. I felt like the movie did a great job. Pretty much everything.
There's no confirmed of how long the show is for, but they said that each episode will be an hour long, and considering it's an Amazon Prime series, it's estimated that the first season will be anywhere from 8 to 10 episodes. Sorry, I love Almighty One's comments in the chat. Fucking finger bang ball, a league of their scissoring.
Finger blasting Sally Magoo.
Rosie shows up as Betty Rebel from the multiverse.
You wanted to see more after the movie, JP? Like, I didn't want to.
And it's like the synopsis said, it's going to be a more in-depth look at the history of women's baseball.
If they do that, then I'm all for it. If they don't, then I don't want to watch it. No,
I'm gonna think you're gonna get like 30% of what you want.
The movie was not based on real people. Maybe this show will be based on real people. Who knows?
If one of them's named Sally,
if I've seen any show that was created in the last 3 years, this one will be filled with fucking bullshit.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, most shows are filled with
if it does that, I will not watch it.
Chances are pretty
But
high.
I'm not gonna pass judgment on it before it comes out.
I am going to pass judgment.
I was going to say it. What Mason's been doing this entire time.
I mean, like, what the fuck? Yeah, like it's like when I'm like fucking that mouse going after the cheese. I've seen it a million times. I know where it is. It's gonna be the same. It's going to be this.
And why do you watch Marvel movies?
Because we fucking do a show on it.
Because I put a gun to Basement's head.
It's literally the only reason. Like
They
the
exact same formula all
they
the
do,
time.
and I've said that a trillion times.
Right. So why not one more time?
More time. Do. I think that's pretty much all the stuff we got covered here in the articles, unless anybody else wants to bring up anything.
Maybe I do.
What?
Do you?
Do you?
I don't know. Do I? Hold on.
Oh, that's a good one, Almighty One. Better not be called an LBGT of their own. That's actually pretty fucking clever. I'm not gonna lie.
Exclusion. He forgot the Q.
Damn it.
The Q is the quest they go on.
There's just it's now LGBTQ plus. The plus
Like a subscription service?
I mean,
Really?
why? Okay, my question is, why wouldn't they just like turn into plus? Because if the plus is going to incorporate everything added past the LGBTQ,
Right.
why wouldn't it just include the LGBTQ? Just
We
become
gotta do
plus.
an LG. It's just like, have you ever seen the movie Internship?
Yes. What?
The part where you're doing the
Yeah.
interview. So I hear you do C++. I do see, or how did he say that? I'm C plus at computers, but C plus plus at the engine of the thing. It's just call it LGBTQ plus plus.
C plus plus. No, PB&J is the tag team of JP and Basement. We've established this before.
PB&J.
Which, by the way, I did actually make you guys
understand,
like that tag team in the game.
Okay.
If you're Q, wouldn't you just be an L or
R?
a G or a B?
You're thinking way too much into this.
No, he's not, because it's true.
If you're a Q, you're already part of the band. You don't need your own designation.
So I'm gonna take a guess and say that you guys are all set for tonight. I don't think there's anything else.
No, I don't.
He's not wrong.
I mean, LGBT. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what's the difference between queer, lesbian, gay, or bisexual.
They're all the same.
Isn't that just like the one word for all of them? So it
So
should
queer
be
is-
TQ plus.
So we look up the word queer.
It should be TQ plus, and it should be $6.99 a month.
So if you put the word queer, if you put the word queer in the dictionary, it will say.
Did you put it in the dictionary, or you look it up?
Just roll with what I'm saying.
If you
I'm not
put it
gonna-
in the dictionary, you can call it whatever you want.
If you look in the dictionary, and I'm paraphrasing here, if you look queer up in the dictionary,
Paraphrasing the dictionary.
I'm pretty
You
sure
see,
it says
Chrisley knows best.
I'm pretty sure it says off, as in off kilter, which is a whole nother term. So
I
gonna look
just
up
feel
the
like
word
sexually queer would encompass lesbian,
Motherfuckers
bi, and
walk
gay.
around. It's just like that one word that we cannot say.
Boobies.
What is that they're looking at?
Strange or odd. Well, being to me is strange or odd. That doesn't mean I don't agree with it. It could mean often offensive, but yet homosexual is in there. So it's often offensive, but yet they call themselves
JP.
Wait,
LGBTQ.
queer? Queer is offensive? Oh my god, what
Yeah.
word? I don't understand anything anymore. I thought queer was like the acceptable version of a bunch of other offensive
anymore.
words.
So another is a verb. It's informal and it's spoil or run, an agreement, event, or situation. I'm going to use queer in a sentence. Reg didn't want someone meddling and queering the deal at the last minute. That is.
I queered when I smelled the JP's MRE After Effects in the field.
Hey, dude, I
Ran.
cannot eat an MRE. It's weird. I don't know.
No, it's queer.
It's
There you go.
weird. It's strange. It's odd.
And on that note, I think that's going to be a good time for us to wrap up this week's edition of No Bucks Given. Want to thank everybody for tuning in for this strange episode of episode 19 on this Sunday.
But it was a good episode.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. We got into a lot more topics than I thought, but or we spent more on topics than I thought. But still, it was good. It was good discussions.
To be honest, I'm sorry. To be honest with everybody, that's pretty much what the show is. This is what we do as friends. This is exactly what we do. We sit around and talk about stupid shit like this. And I wouldn't call it so much stupid, but well, you might call it stupid. But these are the kinds of things that we sit around and talk about.
Yep.
It's true statement.
Lug
Welcome to
Batikwa.
the channel.
So if we ever do a behind the scenes thing where we actually just get on, because sometimes we just get on Discord or
God
Skype
bless.
and we just
God
talk.
bless anybody who'd be willing to watch
the
that
cameras
stuff. But
are
go ahead.
off and we're just pounding each other.
You never
Yep.
know. We might just do one where I might just fucking say, "Hey, we're live. We're recording."
Your nose is running, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Better go and catch
Sounds like
it.
this. Like 30 times.
Kicking my ass. My nose will not quit fucking running. Man.
Your ass in your nose is not right. What?
Mhm.
It's kicking my ass.
Oh, okay.
My nose is running.
Just saying.
Better go and
Body's
catch it.
falling apart. I want to thank Basement, JP, and Heather for joining us as always. And of course, want to thank all the awesome people in the chat as well. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to Horny Goat channel, make sure you do so at youtube.com/Horny Goat. And check us out on your favorite podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, everywhere in between. We got some more goody content coming for you guys and gals this coming week. Of course, we've got tomorrow is Marvel Roundtable, provided I'm not passing out, as JP is...
Man, what are we watching?
JP just, I think, banged his knee or his finger or hand or something, but he's muted. He couldn't see. His nose is still running.
Attention to what I was doing again.
Tomorrow we got Marvel Roundtable doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We'll be back Wednesday with more. You don't like that one?
What's the next? What's the
Do I
Marvel?
like anything?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Actually,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
that's another one of my favorites.
Then we got Horny Goat Wrestling, and then we'll figure out eventually what to do with our GM mode wrestling stuff, which will so keep your eyes and ears peeled for all that stuff. Yes, seriously. But thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Marvel Roundtable, and for some more goodies, make sure you subscribe as JP's pointing to his crutch. 98 now.
Eat my ass. Blend it, baby. Oh shit! How do I stop?